Love, light, and blessings. This is Shamanic Awak Priestess here. And I wanted to make this video because I'm starting a new series. So I'm patenting it and copywriting it because I don't want nobody stealing my idea, okay? But you guys know me as Shamanic Awak Priestess here on YouTube. It's my business name. But I also have another nickname that my daughter calls me, which I'm going to use for this series. Is going to be called the Hood Bruja series, and this is episode 1. And basically it's going to be witchcraft related. It's not going to be specifically to any path because I want this to be very inclusive, because I have subscribers that practice conjure, santeria, ifa, voodoo. I have subscribers that practice paganism and Wicca, traditional witchcraft, and many different forms of witchcraft. So this is not dedicated to any deities, but these are pretty much tips and tricks on how to enhance, bring positive energies, possibly do some self-healing and things like that. So working on one's self. If you want more things like learning traditions and things like that, feel free to purchase any of my future classes that are coming up, because I do give like hoodoo, conjure classes and things like that. So that's more specifically to close traditions and things like that. So I have students that I teach and everything. Right now, currently, there are no classes available, but I will be having classes later on this year that I'm going to be announcing, and so look out for that in the fall, okay? But for right now, right now, we're going to be doing this series, and the first topic I wanted to talk about was love. When people think of love, it's always about relationship, if you have children, friends, family, blah, 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 blah. This particular ritual, spell, working, whatever you want to call it, is going to pertain to self-love. So I'm going to give you rituals and spell work ideas in this video that you can incorporate with any type of tradition, even a tradition you're making up yourself, eclectic, whatever your path is. Anyone can practice self-love, okay? Anyone can do a self-love ritual. Why? Because we all, before we can love other people, before you would do a working to bring back a lover, to work on a relationship, whether that's a marriage, a long-term relationship with your children, friends, family, clients, whatever, co-workers, whatever relationships we're talking about here. The most important relationship is the relationship with ourselves. So this ritual is even outside of my hoodoo, conjure, santeria, and Haitian voodoo practice, okay? This is just like a personal practice, and I'm very passionate about self-love. I literally showed on my channel a self-love altar that I work with, I work on. So I wanted to literally share with you some tips and tricks. So number 1, okay, like I said, anyone can do these kinds of things. Love work is great for healing yourself whenever you're trying to manifest love. So if I look down, it's because I have notes. I wanted to stay on topic. Whenever you're trying to enhance or fix relationships with others, it is very important for us to work with ourselves. What is our relationship with ourselves? Am I practicing genuine self-love? Am I setting up healthy boundaries? Things of that nature, okay? So this types of rituals are going to help you with maybe relationship with your parents, ancestors, family members, all of these things, because by working with yourself and the things the things and the issues that we have, and by us loving ourselves, then we're able to work on other issues within our life. For instance, I want to find a job spell, okay, but sometimes when we don't love ourselves, we're not understanding our worth. So everything that we do, there's some type of self-love in it. Like, I deserve a job that pays well and I live well and blah 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 blah. So that's why I feel like self-love rituals are so important. They could just help us in so many areas of our lives. Okay, so now we know why love work for self-love is so important. Now we're going to talk about the different tools that we can use, different ritual ideas. So I want you to make these suggestions your own and create a spell for yourself. That's what this is all about, this series. So whenever I do any type of work for myself or clients, they already know I do a reading, right? So again, this is going to pertain to myself. So my favorite tools of divination, even for myself, are playing cards or tarot, okay, or oracle. All right. So I can take a tarot, cards, or playing cards, and possibly pull 1 to 3 cards. I don't like to do a whole thing, right? And basically ask something like, or frame the question like, what are the obstacles in my current life that are preventing me from practicing self-love? Or you can even frame the question, what do I need to work on for me to practice self-love? So always make it about yourself. This is a reading for yourself. What are the things that I can work on in order to achieve true self-love, right? And have that spiritual health, because having self-love is also part of your spiritual health. Like it's your spiritual health, right? Self-love is very important because I am a spiritual healer, a spiritual counselor, a psychic, and medium, and I do all these things with people. So if I'm not truly loving myself, then how can I then heal other people if I have issues within myself? Okay, so I will put either 3 cards from here, or for me personally, I really like when I do my self-love, I like to use oracle. This is a psychic tarot of the heart. You could use whatever oracle deck you want. So I would pull, and then I would see, like, I would pull 3 cards, whatever. Let's say I pulled like these 3 cards or whatever, just random. I would be like, ooh, what do I need to work on? So one of the cards says my darkest fears, okay, love, and then new vitality. So I would see how this relates to my question, okay? And I would either take a picture on my cell phone of the cards and then journal them or whatever, you know what I mean? Or just have the cards out and do, write it down. What do I feel? Or just read into it really. Like, what does that feel to me? How does that relate to my life? So once I do that, the working is going to be customized to those issues. For instance, if I pull like, I don't know, I'm just pulling random cards, like feeling alone, so me feeling isolated, if this was a card that I pulled for myself, is making me feel like my need of not wanting to be lonely is making me and feeling unworthy of receiving things is making me hold on to people that don't need to be in my life. So there's like an imbalance in the giving, like I'm giving more than I'm receiving from people, and this is because I'm a lonely person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not for me, but I'm saying like a random reading, because I'm just kind of like pulling whatever cards are on the top of the deck, like that. Like, I would see how it relates, and then I would do a working for that, like helping me to be more secure in myself, where if I have toxic people, I can release them out of my life and I won't be led by my loneliness. Okay, so I would customize a working for that, working on being okay by being by myself until the right people can be attracted into my life. So hopefully that makes sense. So I would read myself and base my workings on that. So that's how I incorporate tarot or oracle or cartomancy, playing cards, into this type of self-love working. And this is another way you can do it yourself. Then another component, and something that I work with a lot when it comes to self-love or any type of self-love rituals that I'm practicing for myself or clients, okay, I would also incorporate herbs. I'm a root worker, so everything to me has to do with herbs, okay? So I'm going to show you the 3 herbs that I channel that I feel like Spirit wants me to share with you guys. My guides want me to share with you. So we have, all right, and I'm going to tell you why how you can use these, okay? The way that I see these herbs, all right? So first and foremost, okay, you can get herbs in any form. In their natural form, you can create oils using these herbs, or you can use incense for same purposes. So we're going to talk about those 2 things. So the 3 herbs that I want to focus on is dandelion root. Dandelion root is a root that I barely ever hear people talking about, okay? This is so good for intuition. This is so good for third eye, crown chakra, receiving messages from spirit, ancestors, all of that. Like, I love this. You can drink this completely edible and safe. It does have a very earthy, coffee-ish type. It's not the best tasting tea. So for me, I rather use it in oils because I can't stomach it. But you know, everybody has their different taste in tea or whatever. This is also has a lot of medicinal, digestive, and all that kind of stuff. But again, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to get too into that. But for magical reasons, dandelions are very predictive. The plant literally changes its structure when it knows that rain is going to happen. Like, it tends to close up, so it predicts weather. So that's why a lot of people back in the days use this. Yes, your weed in your yards that you're killing all the time actually are very good for your psychic abilities, okay? And so dandelion root is a good one. Please do not go to your backyard if you use pesticides and go drinking weeds. I get mine from different places, like organic people that actually grow them for the intentions of selling them as tea. I do not get it from a backyard where we already know that soil is all contaminated with pesticides and all that, because you know that's how people treat weeds, when weeds were actually considered like the plants of royalty back in the days. Anyways, so this predicts weather. So reason why I'm going to use this in self-love is for me to use my intuition. If you're psychic, your psychic abilities, if you're, you know, we all have intuition. So using our intuition, right, to see if to use our intuition so that we can work on the issues that are based on the reading. So if you're someone who attracts toxic people, kind of seeing the signs early on of toxic people. If you're someone who struggles with boundaries, if you're someone who struggles with addictive behaviors. For me, you know, I am someone who struggles with ED. I will always be someone who struggles with ED. I did a lot of self-love work with dandelion root so that I could be honest with myself about how unhappy this food addiction was making me, how it was taking over my life, and literally helped me to help myself to, you know, food journaling, really taking into account the things I put into my body. And I've never felt so good in so many years when I took back the power of my own body. And things like that. So this is so good for those things like addictive behaviors, toxic, self-harm, all these things that are anti-self-love, okay? Damiana root is good for dominating. So for when it comes to yourself, this could dominate your fears. Okay, so remember I pulled that card that said the fear of being by themselves, you know. This could help to kind of like face that. So what if I'm by myself? At least I'm not surrounded by fake people who are abusing me, right? So this helps you to come into your own truth and see things for what they are. And this helps you to dominate whatever fears, whatever toxic behaviors. It helps you to have self-control, whether that's I can't do it on my own. So this gives you the clarity in which to do it, where you're seeking somebody else, a professional. Maybe you need to call a suicide hotline, that kind of thing. Like working magic, but also working on the issue in the mundane situation. Never feel bad if you have to seek medical help for any type of mental illness or physical ailments or things that you just feel like I need help with. You know, this is going to help you to come to that clarification. Rose for self-love and healing, okay? Self-love and healing. All right, so basically those are the 3 herbs. You can use these herbs and create a tea with it. You can use these herbs and create an oil that you made yourself. You can use these herbs, you know, you can create you can literally create floor washes, put them on, dress your candles with them, create, like I said, a personal oil, create them as long as you're not allergic. You can create a spiritual bath with it. You can do floor sweeps, which is basically, you know, throwing the herbs on the floor if you can't mop a space and sweeping it out or sweeping it in, depending on what you're manifesting. You can create scents, perfumes, so on and so forth. There's so many things you can do. You can light a candle and put it around the candle, you know what I mean, and use its properties that way. You can create a like some kind of spiritual pouch, you know what I'm saying, and pretty much carry it on your person, so on and so forth. You can put it in a little glass vial and carry it around your neck, and you'll have like those properties on your person. So you can do all those things, okay? So definitely that's how you can work with the herbs. And so like I said, I told you the different properties of why I chose each of the herbs and everything like that. Now, crystals is the next topic we're going to cover. Okay, before I go into crystals, I forgot to mention incense. Remember I said you could use different herbs. So I got incense the other day. You guys saw me or whatever. I wanted to tell you like how you can apply the certain ones that I got. So this one is good health, okay? Good health could be physical, mental, or it could also be spiritual. So I would burn this for like spiritual good health. So working on self-sabotaging behaviors, like I would set the intentions for that, and kind of like cleansing away or removing any type of obstacles that prevent me from practicing true self-love. A loved one, a lot of people think like romantic, but you can just light one for love for yourself. You can even light incense with a rose incense or rose water incense, anything like that. Beauty, to see, like that's also part of self-love, like seeing the beauty within yourself would be a good one to burn. Harmony, so having inner peace, right? And blessings, you know, just kind of showing, doing any type of self-love ritual that pertains to gratitude or having inner peace with yourself and self-acceptance. You can light the harmony one. So these are just some suggestions that you guys can do. I got all these from Amazon. Hem literally sells them. You can buy them by the bulk or whatever, or go to your metaphysical shops near you or whatever the case may be. Crystals, I chose them in heart shapes because that's what I use these heart-shaped crystals for self-love. My crystal practice is separate from any type of Orisha or Loa or ancestral work, because in my spiritual practice, in the path that I'm in, crystals have nothing to do with it just doesn't have anything to do with when I'm talking about like we don't feed them to the spirits or anything like that. Like crystals are not a part of these closed traditions. So my crystal practice is separate. I use them more for communicating with angels, my higher self, that type of thing, or doing energetic exchanges with clients, which I'll bring those back in the future. Okay, so they're just kind of different, but I don't use them like in my altars or anything like that. Serpentine is really good for heart chakra. You know, heart chakra has a lot to do with your heart chakra has to do a lot with self-love. So this is serpentine. I use this, and this is set up and charged and everything to pretty much help me work with self-love. Okay. Amethyst is good for addictive behaviors. So if your self-love sabotage, like if you're doing self-sabotaging behaviors, maybe you're drinking too much or some type of addiction, of course, please seek medical intervention for that. But this also helps to kind of help you on the spiritual end of things. This is a good one. I work a lot with amethyst when it comes to my food addictions and my EDs and that kind of thing, and self-sabotaging behaviors. So amethyst, and I use this one a lot for that. Clear quartz is like, you can use it for any purpose. Clear quartz is a master stone, a crystal. And last but not least, one of the ones that I use a lot too is your oh my goodness, now I can't even think of the name now. Oh my gosh, like I cannot think of the name now, people. Anyways, I can't think of the name. I don't know why. It matches my shirt though. And I know the name of this crystal. I cannot believe myself right now. But anyway, so I use this crystal as well because it has a very Archangel Michael type of energy, and it's also good for the throat chakra. This is what this is set up for, and literally I use this crystal for that. Like I use it literally for my throat chakra. If I don't use this one, I use a blue lace agate. This is not what this is, but and I also use that for the throat, or to like channel Archangel Michael energy, because the way that we communicate about ourselves and with ourselves is also a form of self-love. So if you're constantly putting yourself down, then you're not truly practicing self-love. So sometimes the way in which we talk about ourselves or to ourselves, that inner dialogue, is also something that we need to work on as well. So that's what I would use that. Alright guys, I had to pause the video because I was getting annoyed that I could not remember the name of this crystal. So is a lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli. So lapis lazuli is one that I set with the intentions of pretty much balancing my throat chakra and helping me to have more positive, right? Because what we speak things into fruition. So if you're speaking bad about yourself, you're going to manifest negative and improper behaviors on your own person. Another crystal too is rose quartz. I have a heart-shaped rose quartz, but I currently have it on my self-love altar. I don't want to take it out, so I'm just going to show you this one. So this is really great for self-love. It's also a good crystal to heal like any type of sexual traumas or anything like that. So whatever personal sexual issue that we have with ourselves or anything like that, but you can also use it just for self-love, just any type of healing that one needs when it comes to the area of love. So then also candles. Okay, there's different types of candles that we can use for self-love. You can get your regular figure candle. They have male, female presenting candles. But if you're like, okay, shamanic Arawak priestess, I'm non-binary, I'm gender fluid, I'm not conforming, I got you, because you can use a skull candle to represent yourself. Okay, so any of these types of candles are really good for self-love. You can anoint them, write whatever issues you may be having with yourself, put it in a fireproof bowl or plate, load it up, anoint it, burn it down, you know what I'm saying, and cast a working with whatever deity, whether it's nature, god, goddesses, orishas, loas, ancestors, whatever energy you work with. You can do the same thing with a skull candle. Very good for I use it for other things, but when it comes to self-love, I use it for like having positive thoughts, working on any type of traumas I may be having, to speak positively, to see things in a more positive direction, to listen to spirit's guidance, to listen to messages that are coming to me that are going to help me. Pretty much I will even use all 5 senses when it pertains to self-love, that kind of thing. Or I can even use a plain white candle you can get in any dollar store, okay, or Spanish supermarket, anything like that. And this could represent me, or a pink candle as well, yellow candle, those types of things. Green candle for just representing the heart chakra, you get it. Even using like a chime candle, okay, I took out a green one, but it could be any of the colors I just said. Okay, using a chime candle. You can use an emergency light candle. Those you can buy at your local Dollar Tree. They're white. Again, white serves all purposes. And you can use, like I said, you know, any type of birthday candle. I have a bunch of birthday candles that I use for quick little rituals and spells, charging things, whatever the case may be. So if money is a thing, you can get an expensive you can get an expensive emergency light candles, tea lights at any local store, or even a birthday candle. So any of those would work with this type of working. Okay, any of these things would work with any type of this working. As a matter of fact, I'm currently doing love work for myself, and these are the candles that I use currently. You see it has like roses in it and everything like that, and I do like prayers and I talk to my guides and all of that stuff. And I also use this one too when it's more of I need an overall healing or whatever, and this one's anointed, charged, and everything else. So these currently are in my self-love altar, and I use those. So, and this is like Glade candle that has rose scented. You can get a pre-scented candle at any local Dollar Tree, whatever, Bath and Body Works. It doesn't matter. Like, this literally is a $1 candle. Like, it doesn't matter. What matters is like the intentions and working with energies that are going to help you to improve certain areas of your life. So yeah, so that's important.